anytime soon. It is an ongoing project, but I fully intend for it to run and drive one day. So, like I said, I'm just trying to look for the bare minimum requirement to avoid any trouble with the city.
Okay. Is that everything, Mr. Stallings?
That's it, yep.
Council, do you have any questions? Thank you.
Of course.
Did you have a question for me?
So it's, I assume it's not sitting on improved surface, it's in city limits, it's in the subdivision, and I know where it's at, obviously. So it's
So
just
I've got a
sitting on
gravel,
grass somewhere.
I've got a gravel driveway, and it goes, down the west side of the property into a flat spot behind the house. So it's on gravel.
Okay, so your whole driveway is gravel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's probably in the older part of town, I got you. Okay.
I've got a couple pictures if you're interested. Anybody?
And I want to make sure that I understood you correctly. You've tried to speak with our codes officer, but you have not had an opportunity to do so?
Correct, yeah, the voicemail box was full.
Okay, all right, cool. That's all I need from you, Mr. Sollingsworth. I appreciate you coming.
All right, thanks, guys, I appreciate it.
Mr. Brockovich, can you maybe illumine us on what his steps should be from now?
Well, sure. I think if he's tried to reach out to the code enforcement officer, we did put a new full-time employee in there who just started recently, so we'll make sure that it could be, he inherited a city phone that could have voicemails full. I will let him know that Mr. Stallings came tonight, and he'll reach back out to you. Typically, the process is, in my understanding of this case in particular, is that the code enforcement officer observed an untagged vehicle in the driveway and sent a courtesy letter. And so the courtesy letter is meant to engage with the homeowner to say, hey, you have a potential violation here. Let's open dialogue to see what's going on. The next step in the process would be if there's not an opportunity to reach some sort of resolution, would then be an official notification letter saying, hey, you have 10 days to clean this up. And then if that doesn't occur, then it would become a municipal court matter. So I think you're just in that courtesy letter stage, and so it sounds like you've tried to reach out, and we'll make sure he gets in touch with you this week. Email or phone call. I mean, he's a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 employee, so we'll make sure you guys connect.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, thank you very much.
Yeah. And if he doesn't have your number before you leave, if you wouldn't mind giving me your number, that way I can pass it on to him.
Okay. All right, everybody square on that?
Okay.
Okay.
We'll pass that on to him. Is that?
Thank you.
Okay.
Item 4 is old business. There's nothing listed under old business, so we'll move on to number 5, which is new business. Presentation of bids results pending award for general obligation bond series 2022A. Mr. Brackovich, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I'll just do a quick introduction since there's a few items here. So actually, items A, B, C, and D are related to the bond issuance that we talked about at the last meeting and are moving forward with. And I'll introduce Ben Hart with Baker Tilly, the city's financial advisors, and he can give you an update on both the bond rating that the city achieved and what the results of the bond sales were today.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. So this morning at 10:30, we sold 2 bonds and 1 temporary note. The interest rates came in actually lower than what I thought they would. We had 5 bids on the 22A. There's a 10-year bond for the sewer project over at the business park. 5 bids there, with the UMB being the top bid at 1.722%. The second one is the 22B refunding bonds. UMB got that one as well, 2.334%, and that was a 20-year bond before it was refunded. There was 3 bids on that one. And on the temporary note, Piper Sandler got that one with 0.8295%. On that one, 5 bids came in on that one. The city went through a rating agency a call. Really, it was an update based on what you guys have done before. Favorable, some of the strengths that they outlined, favorable employment centers, being in Leavenworth County, close to Leavenworth County, Lawrence, and Kansas City area. What's even better is the healthy financial performance that they had mentioned. We got 5 years, at least in their data, 5 years of positive fund balance, adding to the fund balance, and it's a great trend at 5 years. The use of the grants that the staff is applying for on the water tower is obviously part of that whole financial performance, using other people's money for the benefit of your citizens instead of debt. That's a very positive aspect of it. You also have flexibility within your budget process. You show positive results out of your budget process. You're conservative in your forecast and your estimates. And they were happy to see that. You're adding to fund balance and cash reserves. Liquidity is always a big issue with rating agencies, and cash reserves are maintaining percentages that are good. Some of the challenges here is the reserves that they see for an A2 or for an A-rated city may be a little bit on the low side, even though you're adding to them. The elevated debt burden and fixed cost, and that's really associated with pensions that you have nothing that you could do about it. It's capers. But those are the challenges they see. Those aren't negative detractors. They're just challenges that you guys face every year. So with that, I'd be open to answer any questions.
Council, do you have any questions?
We're really pleased with UMB, the rates, especially.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't look at the TV today very long. 10-year moving up. Just on the, Georgia, we gonna spend a little time on Moody's?
Certainly, if you've got questions or things you'd like to highlight, let us know.
Definitely.
Well, I hope everybody's had a chance to go through that. I spent quite a bit of time on it. And just a couple of thoughts, and maybe more so for staff, I don't know. Our median income, family income has decreased about 20% in the last 5 years. Any ideas on what that is driving that? That's really a fascinating number. And that would be on page 2 of the analysis.
Yep.
And then the ANL, the Moody's 3-year average on ANEL, that's driven totally by the pension, by
Yeah,
papers, not.
That's right. Yeah, adjusted,
Our proportionate,
yeah, it's adjusted net pension liability, yeah,
Okay.
right.
but it's a state
Right.
deal, not.
That's the state allocated, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious if anybody had any thoughts on that, because that's a significant drop in median income, and I really don't, I can't see
Yep, Mr. Donnelly, we did ask about that. That was from the set of demographics that Moody's had pulled, and so we didn't really have a way to challenge that set of demographics, but we didn't have a specific reason of why that had shifted downward.
I'm just wondering if they had shared that with us. That was very interesting.
Yeah, and the fourth page back, they show the benchmarks that would be for Tonganoxie. And the benchmark for the 105% median family income was a AA benchmark. So it's actually a better rating than what you have now. So that's a positive movement.
And then the only other comment, is this something we need to do in budget? But, you know, at one time when we set the policy for reserve levels, it was based on what Moody's did. This is way back, probably, I don't even know if you were here when we did that. But has Moody's changed that, and do we need to reassess our reserve levels? Because in here, it reads, to me, when I read it, it says we're a little bit light. I didn't think we were when we set that policy.
Yeah, so we did have a bit of an extended conversation with the ratings analyst on that specifically. And so just for folks that may not be aware, for our general fund balance, our goal is 15%, and our utility funds are at 30%. And we've had the opportunity to build up a little additional cash reserves in those, and we exceed all those fund balances. I think their comments, Mr. Donnelly, were, and if they don't come across this way, we can certainly make sure that it's addressed better in the future. But their comments were more that, hey, as a percentage, the balances look great. But in terms of how much money's really there, it's nominal. And so that's more of a result of being a small city, having a small total overall budget. And so we were fairly insistent, and Ben helped us a lot to say, hey, we're pretty proud that we're exceeding our fund balance goals, which shows that we've been prudent